Hi everyone, it's William. We've got a cool overcast day here. I guess you can't really tell because the sunlight is falling on the trees behind me. But anyway, I don't know if I'm going to be working outside today on my Liegestuhl, my lounge chair, deck chair, whatever you would call it. All right, we are in 1915 with our friend Dmitri. And we've got, let's see, super cold weather where he's at. Okay, for our recap, well, Dmitri was primarily talking about an upsurge of patriotism, real patriotism in the Soviet Union, Russian patriotism, about the same time, around 36, 37, when he himself was giving patriotic speeches for young Russia in France. And then, so Fayard confronts him with that a little bit and says, well, yeah, 2 or 3 years ago, in so many words, you thought that Stalin was going to turn away from communism, and Dmitri is at pains to point out that no, he's never been a fan of Stalin's, and he never thought Stalin was going to give up communism because, as far as he was concerned, Stalin was a real Bolshevik. And he uses the word Bolshevik selectively, so he really wants to emphasize that. And also, he refers to him as the Georgian. The Georgian is a real Bolshevik, but I think he is referencing Stalin specifically, although, it's a bit of a it's a bit of a negative way to use the word Georgian, of course. All right. And the very interesting General Tukhachevsky, whom Dmitri was apparently a fan of. He was deceased by then. He'd been executed by the Soviets in the Stalinist purges. All right. 1915, Dmitri had a night on the town. As it turned out, it was his last night in Moscow before leaving for Usovo. Our cast today in 1915, we have Brasova and Ossevietsky. The Polish women are mentioned, although he doesn't see them again. And then the people he does see are Maria, Laming, and Aunt Ella. Okay, so we're up to the 27th of January / 19th February, starting out in Moscow. But Dmitri wrote the diary entry in Usovo. It's 12 degrees below zero, which is a record, what I've seen so far in the January diaries, a record for coldness, but it is clear and sunny. Okay, I got up at 7 o'clock. It was terribly difficult. We sat with those ladies until 5 o'clock, and so I only got 2 hours sleep, very little. And then the evening at Brasova's was somehow surprisingly strange, either because of Ossevietsky's presence or something else. But at any rate, the mood was special. At 8 o'clock, I went to meet Maria. She arrived with GM. We went to the Metropole. We had coffee there. Maria was in a bit of a sour mood. Then I simply took a nap. Around 1 o'clock, Maria and I went to Auntie's for lunch, and Auntie was more reserved. We stopped by the Metropole for a minute and then took the 3:34 train to Pavshino. From there, we went by sleigh the rest of the way. It was quite cold, but sunny. We arrived at Usovo at 5:30. We had tea, and then Maria withdrew. She's living in Auntie's rooms. As for me, I talked to GM. Dinner was at 8 o'clock, after which Maria quickly retired with a headache, and GM and I played chess, had tea, and then also went to bed. Why am I not in Moscow? Why indeed, old boy. If you don't know, then I suppose nobody does. Okay, let's see. Well, of course, it's a rhetorical question on his part. So, we find out a little about what went on with the Polish ladies. Now, Dmitri is not insinuating anything in his usual way when he has been engaging in sexual activities. On the other hand, it does seem strange that they sat with these two ladies for 5 hours. They got together with them at midnight, and it does seem strange that they just sat there, and maybe in the restaurant or at the Metropole. They met them at the Metropole or the bar or something. I suppose they would have kept it open for a Grand Duke. I don't know. So I guess that's a mystery that we can't solve. Why was it strange and special at Brasova's? Was it because of Ossiewiecki? Dmitri was quite fascinated by him, as you recall. On the other hand, he had also been sweet-talking Brasova. He had been in a letter, how did he put it? Trying to remember. He was just really, talking about saying sweet things to her. So maybe it was that he and Brasova kind of made a connection, or maybe it was just because of Ossiewiecki. He doesn't know himself, but it was a bit strange and a bit, what else? A bit strange and a bit special. Okay. Ella, so Maria shows up. She's in a bad mood. Ella, when the two of them go and see Aunt Ella, Dmitri finds Aunt Ella to be more reserved than she had been the last couple of days with him. They'd really been enjoying each other's company, seemingly. At least he'd been enjoying her company and having long talks with her about philosophy, and she was, treating him kind of like a friend, and a confidant. Please pray for my sister. So apparently, the tension nowadays, when Dmitri was 14, 15, the tension was really between himself and Ella and not between Maria and Ella, who seemed to be getting along well. But now the tension seems to be between Maria and Ella. For what reason, I don't know. Then he plays chess. Did he lose? Did he win? It seems like if he won, he would have been at pains to tell us or to tell his diary that I finally won, hooray. But no, this time he just says that they played. Yes, he's anxious to be back to Moscow. For obvious reasons. It's fun there. He's doing fun things. He's seeing women, attractive women. But he always was kind of a restless type, maybe because, beginning in childhood, he was moved around a lot. So, yeah, that's a bit of continuity between him in 1915, him in 1906, and him in later life. Although, honestly, I can't remember if he wanted to move around when he was 14, 15, 16. Okay, so what do we have next time? Well, in 1939, which will be the next video, we'll have Dmitri sort of boasting about how the emigre community turned to him for advice, and we'll find out what advice it is that they want from him. In 1915, we'll find out that Maria is not the athletic type like her brother, and specifically she's not good at sledding, and Dmitri will start a new and quite interesting book, one that I haven't read but would consider reading. And I should just say, in Maria's defense, talking about her bad mood, her headache, how she doesn't want to spend the evening with Dmitri and Laming. If she arrived in Moscow at 8 o'clock, maybe didn't get much sleep. I mean, she would have had a sleeping carriage on the train, but that would be my my chief guess, is that she should have taken a nap when Dmitri did. Well, maybe she did take a nap, but anyway, I shouldn't try to guess why she was in a bad mood. Dmitri probably was a little bit too, because of having to go back to Usovo and because of having, even with his nap, gotten so little sleep. So, yeah, short one today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.